Hello and welcome to QuipScope, a show where we talk about a brand new game, a game that's come out, or a game that's coming out very, very soon. My name is Ashton.
And my name is Ben.
Ben, you've been playing something this weekend.
I have. It doesn't stop. There's a new game out every other day. This time I've been playing New Tales from the Borderlands.
Yes.
This is exciting because I'm a big Borderlands fan.
Specifically, you really like Tales from the Borderlands.
I like the first one, yeah. So that was developed by Telltale. This one is not.
Yeah.
Telltale obviously had a bit of a die a few years ago, and they've since reformed, but they're not involved with this game. This was developed internally at Gearbox, and they have brought in a few key people who worked on the original game because Gearbox has never made a game like this before. And largely, from a gameplay perspective, the DNA is there. If you know what a Telltale game is like or was like, then you'll be familiar with this. You'll have a timer that goes down. You can pick different dialogue options. This character will remember that based on certain decisions that you make. There are bits where you're allowed to walk around an environment and interact with things, some basic, very basic puzzle solving. It is a Telltale game, essentially. And it sort of came out of nowhere because I certainly wasn't expecting to ever get a follow-up to Tales from the Borderlands.
Yeah.
And I did really love the first one. It was, I think, some of the best writing the Borderlands series has ever had.
Yes.
Which is kind of sad because it wasn't written by the Borderlands writers.
And it's not one that every Borderlands fan has played because of the gameplay mechanics. It's not everyone's cup of tea.
Exactly. You're not jumping around, you're not shooting, you're not looting. And for that reason, it was accessible to a whole load of people who couldn't necessarily get into Borderlands. And I heard from countless people how amazing that original Tales from the Borderlands game is. Like, genuinely very funny.
Yeah.
Sort of these people that you're following around, they aren't vault hunters per se, they're just people, and you get to see how the craziness of the Borderlands universe impacts normal people going about their business.
Yeah.
So, you play as 3 characters in this one. There's Anu, who's a scientist who works for Atlas. Her brother, Octavio, who's sort of like a streetwise mogul wannabe. And Fran, who is a frozen yogurt shop owner with anger issues. That's a theme that runs throughout the game.
Right, okay.
And Fran's Frogut, you may remember as being singled out in Borderlands 3 by Reese as his favourite Frogut place.
I do not remember that.
A space laser targeted it by Katagawa.
Katagawa.
Yeah, so he blew up that Fran's Frogut, and that is actually her place. So it's
right, okay.
It's all sort of connected. Octavio works for Fran in the Frogut place, and Anu and Fran have never met each other before. But you play as those 3 characters. Now, unlike previous Telltale games, there are 5 episodes and all of them are available at once. So you're not waiting for them to slowly come out. You can just go balls to the wall and play them all. It also looks great with like no technical hiccups at all from what I could see. It runs absolutely fine. Obviously, the Telltale games were all on the same engine, and that was very creaky, that engine. There were a lot of problems with that. The facial animations in this are great. There's very little texture pop-in. I actually played the first chapter on PS5, and then I was away from my PS5 for the weekend, so I played the remaining chapters on PS4. There is a noticeable performance difference in that regard. There is quite a bit of texture pop-in. And there are some sort of time-based mini games. So say a number is scrolling down the screen. You're like doing a hack or whatever.
Okay.
And you've got to press X to stop the number that's scrolling past at the right time.
Yeah.
For some reason, you have to press it on the number before on the PS4 version because the timing is all wrong.
Good.
And on top of that, occasionally, maybe once every sort of 20 minutes to half an hour, a line of dialogue that's spoken will cut off the first 2 words of someone's dialogue.
Good.
That was not happening on the PS5 version. So there's some weird stuff going on the previous gen version.
Weird.
But across the board, generally, it's working great, and that was one of the big issues with the original Telltale games.
Yes.
Now that I've told you all that, I don't like it.
Oh, no.
It's not funny. The characters are really annoying, so annoying in their own unique ways.
I thought we were going up for a positive one there.
I wanted to get
like,
that out of the way. I wanted to let everyone know that functionally it's fine.
Yeah, it does. It is a game, and it does do a game.
But they're just so irritating. All the characters are really, really annoying. The jokes do not land. They're there's like a joke a second, and they're all that Borderlands 3 Wonderlands humor where it's, hey, remember 2008? Here's some memes from 2000, and it just doesn't work. I don't care about these characters. I find their plight frustrating. There's a theme that runs through with Fran, not just her anger issues, but like that she is kind of sexually aggressive to a point where every other thing she says is about her being horny.
Right.
And that's not funny.
Yeah.
And it's kind of annoying. It's just weird. I just felt I've played all the way through until like half of chapter 5, so I'm very near the end.
Yeah.
And there are so many moments in this game so far where I've sort of just been screaming at the TV. Like, they've got this device that does a thing, and they'll do that. I have this problem all the time with JRPGs where it'll take them about 20 minutes of talking to each other to realize something that you know as the player because you've been there the whole time. And it's like, just use the device that you have. Use this amazing device that you've got. And then they'll go, what if we use the device? It's like, we've wasted so much time here.
Yeah.
So much time. The dialogue options as well don't really feel like they have a great deal of consequence. It'll very rarely be, yes, let's do this, or no, let's not do this. It'll be just different ways of just, the conversation continues.
Anyway.
Exactly. A lot of the mini games are just kind of strange. You have, and this is just sort of par for the course in terms of the humor this game has, you have a skateboard rating, which is how good your team is working together, I assume based on dialogue options and things that you do.
Skateboard rating?
Because it's funny, because it's weird. So it's funny, right? So they've given you a skateboard rating. But in so doing, I feel now like I am being forced down a particular path of having to choose the options I think will increase that rating, rather than being able to answer with whatever the hell I want to answer with. So I feel like the game's trying to force me to play a certain way, which kind of defeats the point. And man, I'm just sad.
Is the story good? Like, is the story interesting?
Not really. You encounter maybe a couple of characters that you've seen elsewhere. There are a few moments where the jokes land. I will say that much. And the game is all set on Promethea, which is the planet where, Atlas was based.
Lorelei, your favorite character.
Lorelei is in it, yeah. And that voice, it's like nails on a chalkboard. As soon as they showed up, I couldn't do it. They also ape the thing that was one of the things that was so special about the original Tales from the Borderlands is that there'd be one use of a licensed track in each episode for this big sort of cinematic moment, and then like it would have the title card of the episode would come up while they're doing it. They do that in this as well, but none of the tracks hit. They're just kind of rubbish. And I'm not saying that people's musical tastes are wrong, but none of it just fit. It doesn't feel like Borderlands.
Yeah, there's like a certain genre of music that you expect with Borderlands, and they just not.
Cage the Elephant, that kind of stuff. But there's been, it feels, a real divergence, and I'm not sure why. Obviously, the writing team has changed, but ever since we had the pre-sequel, there was a split where everything from Borderlands 3 to Wonderlands to this doesn't seem to really understand why Borderlands was funny.
Yeah.
And even then, that humor wasn't for everyone. I feel like this is sincerely a real miss. And there's a lot of stuff that doesn't work. And that's genuinely a real shame because, as I said, functionally, it's great. It's nice seeing, again, the slice of life of the normal folks running around while there's some crazy stuff going on in Borderlands land. It introduces a couple of characters that I wouldn't mind seeing again, but largely I feel completely disconnected from the characters you play as. Man. It's a real bummer, genuinely a real bummer. I don't know if they will follow this up with another one, but clearly something's got to change in the writing department at Gearbox because it's been off.
Yeah, it's just such a shame because Borderlands is so many people's favorite game series, and it's just such a shame that recently they're just missing the mark on everything they're doing. Wonderlands just missed it on so many ways. 3 upset so many people.
The gameplay's getting better, but
Yeah.
the writing is getting
They're
worse.
perfecting the way the games play,
Yeah.
but they're just losing all of the like spark that makes Borderlands so good.
If you are a Borderlands fan, there will be something here for you, but
Mm-hmm.
I cannot recommend this game to anyone who is not a fan of Borderlands. There's a profound lack of interesting characters, and you will struggle to enjoy yourself, I think, genuinely. And it's rubbish, because I spent my whole Sunday playing this game.
You were really excited
I
for it as
I
well.
was. And, I'll report back on the podcast this weekend once I finish the game to give a proper overview. But as it stands, that's Tales from the Borderlands.
New
Tales from the Borderlands.
They can't just make it Tales from the Borderlands 2. They
No.
have to make it New Tales from the Borderlands.
Tell you what, even if writing was as wonky as it is here, I think I would have rather have seen a follow-up that involved the cast of characters from the first game and continued that story. But
I mean, we got some of their story in 3.
A little bit.
Which is kind of, I guess, why they couldn't do that. But hey.
there we go.
Yeah.
That's New Tales from the Borderlands. Just enough time for a quip, I think.
Yeah. Do you have one ready?
Yeah, New Tales from the Borderlands. More like New Tales from the I'm not a Border fan.
Oh, that's a good one. New Tales from the Borderlands, more like New Wales from the Borderlands, because I'm wailing for something better than this.
Sure. That's it. I think that's the one.
Thank you so much for listening/watching. If you're listening on the podcast feed, why not go over to the YouTube channel to check out some of the footage that Ben got of him playing New Tales from the Borderlands.
Watch my stream. I'm streaming it tonight as well.
You can check out on the VODs channel if you've missed it. And we'll see you very, very soon.
Bye.
Love you, bye.